Welcome back, I'm Tedward, and today, thanks to Bond Group in Waltham, Massachusetts, we get the distinct pleasure of driving this gorgeous slate gray 911 Sport Classic. They only built 1,250 of these, and it's not simply the exterior detailings that make this car special, which we will go over at length, because there's very cool things on this car. But the most impressive part about this car is it allows you to tick boxes that otherwise could not be ticked. What this does is it takes a 911 turbo, you can see those ultra wide hips, and it gives you the 3.7 liter twin turbo power plant mated to a manual 7-speed gearbox. Could not do that on the turbo. And then it goes a step further because turbos are all-wheel drive. And this Sport Classic sends all of its power to the rear. Now it does send slightly less power to the rear because it shaves about 29 horsepower off of the 911 turbo. But don't worry, it's 111 pounds lighter than the turbo. So that should make up for the difference. It makes 553 horsepower and 442 pound-feet of torque. Plenty to get you around a corner and down the Autobahn. Very exciting, but the exterior details on this car have a little bit of that if you know factor. Get the double bubble roof. You get these Sport Classic Fuchs style wheels, which we love. You get the wide body, but no vents. The turbo has the vents. This does not have those air inlets. Around back, you get the ducktail spoiler, evoking the heritage of the 2.7 RS with some trickery in the back. And we love the gold down here with the Sport Classic written in full lettering across. And over here, the Porsche heritage badge on the little grille. So this definitely does its job to thrill the Porsche enthusiast. It doesn't really care what normal people think because the silhouette of a 911 is always a 911, but those who know. And the big excitement here is that you essentially get what would be the manual luxury GT2. We get a rear-wheel drive turbo, and that, I think, is worth every penny because it certainly cost $75,000 more than the turbo. Not to mention the fact that these have appreciated and now they are on the market going for around $500,000 to $600,000. Inside, it doesn't stop. You get the wood grain trim down here on the dashboard. Sorry about the wind. You know, we're getting spring into New England and the air has to change. It's a sacrifice we make. We've got these gorgeous inserts. I think the car, everyone kind of did theirs a little differently. This one I really dig. And personally, I mean, this is just for me, but when I was a little boy, my winter flannel sheets when I was like 5-6 years old looked exactly like this interior. So oddly, very, very comforting. A lot of people use different types of Sonderwunsch options to put on their door sills. You can make it whatever you'd like, but you also get these door cards that match the interior. It's just wild. What's cool is up front, in the effort of weight savings, this frunk lid is carbon fiber. It's very light, and you can tell it's very light. It feels very light, but I'm not going to leave it up because, good Lord, the wind is going to take it from me. And unfortunately, in typical 911 fashion, you can't see much in the back, but underneath, I'll show you a couple pictures of what's under there. It's actually a beautiful underside of this car. So on the passenger side, this is where you get some of the special stuff because it says Sport Classic. This is number 519 of 1,250. And gluing us to the road on these center lock Fuchs style wheels are a 255 section tire up front and a 315 in the rear. 20-inch wheel in the front, 21-inch wheel in the rear. Carbon ceramics all around. You also get little details like this Porsche exclusive manufacturer badge and the Porsche Sonderwunsch, the special wishes sticker on that rear window. Oh, it's nice to get in a 911 turbo engine and have to push in a clutch. But I do want to actually mention these gauges. These gauges are gorgeous. And this tachometer, something that we've lost in the .2, the 992.1 that we're in currently, has the beautiful analog style tachometer. But what I love too is that it gives you sort of that sweeping motion here in the outline, which I know is evocative of 2.7 RS, but I drive a lot of 356s, and they were doing that back in the 50s, baby. So that is a really exciting thing to see. It's a little cold. Let's get it off the line. Absolutely ferocious. Oh my goodness. This thing is an absolute monster. So sure, maybe you're down a little bit of power and down on that 0 to 60 time from the turbo, but like, who cares? Because this is a little more thrilling and there's less stability than the turbo on those launches. All-wheel drive gives you that extra traction and keeps you moving in a straight line. It can claw the rear out of yaw, and this will absolutely bite you if it so chooses to. Almost forgot to mention this still has four-wheel steering from the Turbo S, I believe. So you get that extra agility, and really nice because these 992s, man, they got kind of big, and it makes them so much easier to maneuver and park and deal with. And we've got this gorgeous nose lift. It's really fun when you have an engine that you've got to pedal a little bit. You can't just open it up because this does have too much power for these rear tires in these particular conditions, which is exciting. I like knowing that I, the driver, am the one to decide whether we go sideways, whether we spin tires, whether we put power down. These cars are just so agile. Should help you understand that you're not missing out on any power relative to a turbo. This thing absolutely rips, and it's really fun to row these gears. What Porsche has essentially done is give us a manual GT2. I mean, this is so cool. Oh, look at that C30. It's also a very cool car. And a fit. Say I'm feeling less persnickety about this 7-speed than I usually am. Some maybe secret sauce in the shifter for the Sport Classic. It is excessive. That's okay. One thing that I'm sure people are thinking is like, well, I'll just tune it. I'll go spend all the money on this car because it'll cost you all the money, and then I'll tune it so it has as much or more power than a 911 turbo. Well, the risk there is that I don't think that Porsche reduced the power output of this engine because they wanted it to slot below the turbo in terms of power, or that they didn't trust you with a rear-wheel drive car. I think they did it because of the driveline. I think it's that clutch and manual transmission that likely isn't a huge fan of more than this much torque. In which case, tune away, But good luck, because if you shatter a gearbox or destroy a clutch very quickly, like, that's on you. This car just wants to leap out of its own skin. It's pretty awesome. Look, we've got 1,000,000 pound-feet of torque. And frankly, we just got to shut it down. I mean, on an American highway with law-abiding drivers, good Lord, we need to be cautious. I would have moved center lane and been a good doobie because I'm not passing anyone, but I want no part of whatever's getting kicked up by that tractor trailer. It's funny to me that the numbers don't seem to scream what I'm feeling, because if you see 442 pound-feet of torque, that's not a huge number. It's really not. But typically when you associate numbers like that with a Porsche, you have to really take it seriously. This feels quick. And despite the car being pretty big, man, it is windy out today. Holy cow, we're getting jostled around a little bit. You got to take into account that, like, the car looks really big, but it doesn't feel that heavy. Watching a log truck send it through a red light. That's the kind of final destination thing you'll have to see in real life. I just don't ever want to take it out of Sport Plus. Compared to the 997 Sport Classic, which I absolutely adore, I think it's one of the most beautiful cars. It drives really well. This does feel like you're getting a lot more as a Sport Classic. It feels like the kind of car that you otherwise absolutely could not replicate. Whereas a 997 Sport Classic, I feel like you add the carbon power kit intake, you could get a manual Carrera S. It just feels like a car that you could kind of simulate the driving experience. This car, I really just don't think you could build this, and I don't think you could make it as good as it is if you took a 911 turbo, manual swapped it, and removed the front axle power delivery. Like, you'd never get to this level of drivability. This is so well tuned. This is so well executed. And unfortunately, most people never get to experience the special cars that Porsche make. And I've been fortunate enough to drive a lot of them. And every time I drive one, I'm blown away that it may only seem like it should be 10% better than a car that is more mass market, but it's always so much more impressive. It's like driving a 964 RS. That's still one of my favorite cars, if not my favorite 911. By the numbers, it shouldn't be that good, but it's so much better than what it is. I mean, it's maybe only 10% more interesting, but it's like 50% better to drive than any other 964 I've driven. Paradox of these special cars, especially from Porsche, is that sometimes they are incredible driver's cars that suit daily driver needs. This is a phenomenal sports car, but it's also not too harsh. I mean, I've been in Sport Plus most of this time, and it has been fine. I mean, we can go into normal mode and soften it up a little bit and make it a little more of a commuter, but that's the thing. While it's absolutely phenomenally quick and agile and pretty tactile and a little airy and fun, it's also a really easy car to get in and just shift and drive. I'm not having to really catch the revs. They're not falling super quick. This isn't a taxing sports car to use. And the paradox is that it costs so much money and it's so exclusive that if you buy it, you likely won't use it as much as the normal Porsche that you own. And of course you own another Porsche. You would never just own this. That would be if anyone out there owns one Porsche and it's a sport classic, please let me know. I don't think that exists. And I think that's a shame. And I don't want to be like no garage queens. I get it. Trust me. I'm not somebody who uses my cars all the time. But this is a car that I think really deserves to have 100,000 miles stacked on it. Unfortunately, values often dictate those choices. All right, we've got a little bit of runway. I really do like the power delivery. My only gripe is the fake noises it broadcasts through the speakers or whatever the heck it's doing, whichever speakers it's coming from. It's a little bit annoying and unnecessary. This should be enough. You should be able to just listen to this and enjoy it as it sits and not have to add any more to it. All this power with rear-wheel drive and the familiar stability of a 992 chassis. Oof. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I genuinely thought, and I know that sounds crazy, I genuinely thought I wasn't going to love this car. I thought I was going to get in it and I was going to say, okay, they made a cash grab with a special wishes car from exclusive manufacturer department, and it's ticking some boxes that they otherwise wouldn't let you tick, and they collected on it. And while that's definitely true, the car is awesome, is so good, is so special. And is it more special than maybe an ST? I don't know. I don't think so, but I think it's different, and I think it serves different purposes. So I think like the ultimate 992 two-car solution right now might be Sport Classic and ST. So you get sort of a 911R package there, and then you get the daily drivable rear-wheel drive manual turbo, and you get two killer, rare, special manual 911s for the modern day. Wow. I've got some thinking to do. This thing's really good. Well, I don't have that much thinking to do because I can't afford it, so there's not enough to think about, unfortunately. I wish I had some thinking to do. I wish this was a choice for me, because I would maybe make this choice. Yeah, most impressive for me is just how well executed the communication and synchronicity between clutch, throttle, gearbox all feel. Sometimes the non-GT cars kind of don't get the royal treatment, and this one maybe has changed my mind on that. So anyway, thank you so much to Bond Group for an opportunity to drive a pretty special, pretty rare, modern turbo rear-wheel drive manual car. The Sport Classic is such a neat thing, and it felt like a little bit of a flash in the pan from a marketing perspective, and then we didn't hear about it anymore. And I'm here to tell you, we should be talking about it. This is a car you should think about if you're a Porsche collector, or if you've just maybe come into a little bit of money and you're looking to get something a little bit different, and maybe you're sick of flappy paddles. This delivers, and it doesn't feel like some weird excuse to just have a manual. The Save the Manuals crowd, love them, but sometimes they want to save the wrong manuals. They kind of did a good job here, and this car, oddly enough, very well suited for rear-wheel drive and a manual transmission. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one. Spring is right around the corner, and as you can see, it rained all yesterday. The salt is off the roads. The snow is almost fully melted, and I'm ready to start getting into the normal stuff again. So this was a good teaser.